August TBR, aka the TBR for my next month of my 60 books in 60 days series. If you're new here and you don't know what this is, I'm attempting to read one book a day every day for the next 2 months. This is my TBR for the second month and final month of this series. My TBR cart is solely for my seasonal TBR. Now, August is the last month of summer. These are the last few books I have. And because I want to finish my summer TBR in summer, this is going to be half of my August TBR. You're not going to see the second half of my August TBR until mid-August. Why is that? It's because in mid-August, my fall TBR video is coming out. But I cannot choose those books yet because they're not a part of my priority TBR yet. When I do my fall TBR video, there will be a section in that video of me choosing the next 11 books on my August TBR to finish out this challenge. The first book that I have is The Chase by Elle Kennedy. I've not heard great things about this, but I really have liked the Off-Campus series. I really like the new series coming out. It's not the best writing ever, but it really was the series that got me into romance, and I've been thinking about picking up the Briar U series for a long time. This is another spin-off to Off-Campus. It's a very like large world, but they're all easy, quick reads, and I finally just got this on Pango, and I was like, yeah, I gotta do it. I gotta pick it up. So The Chase by Elle Kennedy is gonna be our first book on our August TBR. If you don't know what Off-Campus is, it's just literally a hockey romance series. I am incredibly excited about this book. I've been excited about this book since it arrived to my house in May. I actually cannot believe I haven't picked this book up yet. I keep seeing TikToks about it. I keep seeing everything. It just has not been on any of my TBRs, and it's not because I don't want to pick it. It's because I've been doing like blindly choosing my TBRs or things like that, and I just keep accidentally skipping over it, and it's like really painful for me. But it's Funny Story by Emily Henry, another romance. I think out of every single book currently on my summer TBR, this is the one I am most excited to get to. Like I was saying, all of these books will be in reading vlogs because they're all part of my 60 books in 60 days series. So there'll be a ton of spoiler-free reading vlogs, and I am almost certain I'm gonna get to this book really early on. I know a lot of people are saying it's like not their favorite Emily Henry, or that it falls short in some areas, and I know other people are saying it's amazing, 5 stars. I feel like I'm gonna be on the latter side because I love People We Meet on Vacation. That one is my favorite Emily Henry book, and not a ton of people like that because it's not as deep, and I've heard like similar kind of like things about this one. The next book on this cart and the last book on that second shelf is Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford. This is the third book in the Windy City series, which is like Mile High and The Right Move. Liz Tom Ford just knows how to write like realistic characters and realistic love languages, which I really like and I really appreciate. And this is a baseball romance, which is why it's been on my summer TBR, because baseball is just such a summery sport. Baseball is also one of the only sports I tend to actually enjoy. Really, I just love the vibes of going to a baseball game, so I'm really excited about this. I know it's gonna be super summery before I start getting into my fall reads, and I'm ready for that. Just like a good way to end out the summer, I feel like. These books are always a little longer, but they always go by so quickly. I'm excited to get back into Liz Tom Ford's writing, back into the series. I'm ready for it. Lots of romance, y'all. I think there's other books that aren't romance, but summer tends to be like my season of rom-coms. All like my fantasy mystery reads really come out in like the fall and winter time. I know we have some genre variation up here, but it's gonna be a lot of rom-coms because I am a rom-com girly. I love a good rom-com. Next book is Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. This book is about a woman who has facial blindness, and I've heard that this book talks a lot about like that almost, which is interesting. Obviously, it's a huge part of the plot, so I knew it was gonna get a lot into that, but I guess it's like almost like a more important part of the plot than the romance. So I'm interested to see how that works. This will be my first Catherine Center book. I'm really excited to like get into her stuff. I've heard like nothing but great things. And I know she's been having a moment for a while, but I feel like her popularity is starting to like really rise again on BookTube and Book Talk. Next book I have here, another rom-com, guys. I really need to get some more variation up here because oh my god, the next one's a rom-com too. Anyway, the next book I have here is The Night Shift. I've heard mixed things about this, but I do like the idea. It's about a girl, I think she's like studying in a library, perhaps she works in her college library, something like that. And then like the jockey basketball player dude is like, hey, I'm a basketball player and you're a nerd, let's study together, and then they fall in love. I've heard like very mixed things about this. I feel like some people are like, it's really good, and some people are like, it's really bad, but even the people who think it's really good have not rated it over 4 stars, so I'm a little worried. If you've read this book and you like it, please let me know because I'm kind of scared of it, but I do think it'll be just like a fun, quick, easy read. It's like Wattpad publishing, so you know, I'm not expecting like a ton, but I'm also not knocking it. Like this might be a new favorite book Who knows? I just know it'll be a quick, easy read, and I do really like this cover. I like the wraparound. The next book that I have here is Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Rachel Lynn Solomon is an autobiography author for me, but I've only ever read her YAs. I feel like authors are either really good at YA or really good at adult romances. Very weird in between, and I'm like a little nervous about it, but I am excited to get into her stuff because I have like loved all of the YA books I've read by her. Wrote a YA book with a Groundhog's Day trope, which is like my least favorite trope. Literally hate every book, every piece of media. It's not just books. I've never liked it. That book I gave like a 4.5 stars. So, and like that's how you know like she is a good writer for me at least. Like she very much writes characters that I usually feel very connected to. So I am excited to get into her adult stuff, but I'm a little nervous. I don't even know what this is about. I'm assuming it's a workplace romance. A ghostwriter and struggling actor help each other on the page. So it's not a workplace romance, but it is. Oh, I'm so intrigued. The next book I have is Off to the Races by Elle Kennedy. This is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is the first series that she wrote before Chestnut Springs, but they are interconnected. I did read all of Chestnut Springs first and I loved it. I tend to really love Elsie Silver's writing. I don't think any of the books I've read by her have been under a 3-star. Like I've loved everything I've read by her. The first book I liked, but I didn't like love, you know, it was just like a 3.5, which is not a bad rating at all, but it just like wasn't something that I was super into. I'm hoping this one is good. I've heard really good things about this book specifically. The next book I have here is one that I have seen a bunch of people haul and I've not seen anyone actually read yet. So I'm really curious to see like what people think of it. If you've read this, please let me know in the comments because everyone keeps buying it and no one has like read it yet, or at least no one that I've watched that I can recall has read and rated it. So I don't know what to think about it. It's Jana Goes Wild. I know it's a second chance romance and I know it's a rom-com. So I mean, obviously with this cover, it's a rom-com. The next book I have, I'm very nervous about because I am an Ellen Catherine stan. Not to like be like, oh, I'm so cool or whatever, but I've been watching Ellen Catherine since like literally before she even had like 1K. I love her. I have almost the exact opinions on books as she does. Like it is crazy. She will read a book that I love and be like, I love it. She'll read a book I hate and she'll hate it for the same reasons as me. So when she loves or hates a book, I take that opinion like very seriously. She read this book and she hated it and I'm really nervous. It is Under Lock by Mariana Zapata. I'm slowly trying to get through Mariana Zapata's backlist. There are a few books that I know for sure I'm gonna skip. If I would have known what I know now about this book, I probably would have skipped it too before I bought it. But basically she was saying like the guy is just kind of like macho man cringe and I don't like it. That was not her exact words. That's not a direct quote. I'm a little concerned because I just don't think I'm gonna like it. This is also one of Mariana Zapata's older books, so I do know like her writing has improved a lot. I have Mariana Zapata books that are 5 stars, but I also have Mariana Zapata books that are like 2.5, 3 stars. So I am worried on what I'm gonna think about this one. We finally have a non-rom-com, but I still think it's a romance. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually don't know because I got this book sent to me by a publisher, which thank you by the way, is The Other Side of Disappearing. From what I understand, this is more of like a coming of age in a sense of like she's already in her 20s, coming of age, discovering yourself, but it's also like very heavily a romance. I'm not sure if it's gonna be more romance than lit fic or more lit fic than romance. Like I don't know the vibes. Again, I got this book sent to me, but I just thought it sounded so interesting and so perfect for the summer. Like go on this road trip, they're reuniting their family. Like it's like a big thing. So I'm excited about it. It says a timely, moving, modern love story about intimacy and truth-telling in the digital age. Then I have Mrs. Nash's Ashes. This is another road trip romance. Whoa, 2 in a row. That's kind of crazy. I didn't mean to do that. This is another road trip romance. They go to reunite Mrs. Nash, her ashes obviously, with her long lost love, and it's like kind of a cute thing and they fall in love along the way. That's all I know about it, but this is the most summery cover ever. This is another one that I've seen a ton of people buy but not actually read yet. So I'm just like really curious to see how I feel about it, and I think like this is gonna be like a good summery book for me. The next book I have is The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. This, I don't want to say it was an impulse purchase. It wasn't. I thought Good Girl Complex and Bad Girl Reputation were a duet, but apparently this is the 3rd book in the series. Kind of hate that it doesn't follow the same structure in the title, but I've heard the best things about this book. Good Girl Complex, not my favorite. Not my favorite. This is another Elle Kennedy book, the person who wrote the Off-Campus series, all the hockey romances I talked about at the beginning. I love those, but the first book in this series particularly, which is not a hockey romance, I've heard really good things about this one in particular. It's a different couple. It's just interconnected standalone. The next book on my summer TBR and August TBR TBR is not a romance, like not even a little bit. There's a romance in it, but it is a subplot. This is actually a YA sci-fi, and it is another completion of a series that I love. It is Supernova, which is the completion of the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer. I love the first 2 books in the series. I really liked the first one, but I fell in love with the characters in the second one. So I've just been like itching to read this. I read it last month. I remember everything that happened. I'm ready to get into this. I was hoping that I could have read this in July. I just didn't happen to pick it on the TBR, but I'm glad I have it now because oh my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to complete this series. It's about superheroes and supervillains. A supervillain kind of infiltrating the superheroes disguised as a superhero. That's all I can really say about the series, but it is so interesting. They're all teenagers. There is like a romantic subplot. It's like a very interesting series. The next book I have on my August TBR is Outlaw. In the year of our Lord 1894, I became an outlaw. One thing about me is like Western history and like the setting of a good Western is something that is so interesting to me, and I don't know why. It just always has been. I don't know if this is gonna be history accurate. It is just a lit fic about a girl becoming an outlaw, but I am so excited about this. I think it's gonna be really fun, and I think this is gonna give me like those fun summery vibes. And again, I just love the setting of this book. I believe this is more of a lit fic than anything else though. Finally, the last book on my August TBR and the last book on my summer TBR is gonna be a Christina Lauren. It's my favorite half night stand. I really like Christina Lauren. I've only had one flop by them, so I'm really like kind of nervous, but like Love in Other Words, as basic as it sounds, I love that book. I gave it a 5 stars. Like, so I kind of always trust them. I have not heard much about this book, but what I have heard has all been good, and that makes me hopeful. I'm a little nervous I'm gonna kind of get like romanced out, like rom-commed out, but I think that the time to read rom-coms is in the summer. I also am already thinking of fall. Guys, it's so bad. It's literally July 20th when I'm filming this, and fall has been the only thing on my mind for the last like week and a half. Since I am already kind of getting in that fall state of mind, I definitely think I'm gonna read like the more summer coded books earlier on in the month. I only have 15 books here. I only have 15 books from this TBR cart, meaning I'm gonna need to choose 15 more books halfway through the month. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you've made it this far, you obviously like me, you might as well subscribe. You can see how I do all my 60 books in 60 days. You can see my fall TBR. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. And with that, I will see you guys all on Wednesday for our next installment of 60 books in 60 days. Okay, bye guys!